USA entered the Second World War due to the surprise attack by the Japanese on Pearl Harbor and ended the war by dropping the little man and the fat boy on the two Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The little man and the fat boy were the fancy names of the two deadly atom bombs. The first bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, and a few days later, a second bomb was dropped on another Japanese city, Nagasaki. In his first speech to the US public about the bombing of Hiroshima, which was delivered on August 9, 1945, the day the atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, Harry Truman reported, "The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. That was because we wished in this first attack to avoid, insofar as possible, the killing of civilians. He prayed that God may guide us to use the atomic bomb in his ways and for his purpose. It was as if their trauma may remain vivid, their stories are unknown to large sections of the world's population. The message of the survivors has been simple, clear, and consistent: never again." At the memorial cenotaph in Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park is this inscription: "Let all souls here rest in peace, for we shall not repeat the evil."
It was on today's day, 75 years ago, on August 6, 1945, the World War II entered into a decisive stage, effectively starting the process of the end of the World War II. That fateful summer, 18:15 a.m., the roar of a B-29 breaks the morning calm. A parachute opens in the blue sky. Then suddenly, a flash, an enormous blast, and then dead silence. It was on this day when an atomic bomb was dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, followed a few days later by another one dropped on the city of Nagasaki. The two cities were destroyed, and casualties were estimated at around 200,000, with many more people dying later from injuries and illness. Hiroshima Day is now a focus for anti-war and anti-nuclear demonstrations and discussions.
Yes.
Mom, Hiroshima.
Today is 6th of August and it is Hiroshima Day, right? Correct. I think in your class, one child has to speak about it, right? Who is the person who will speak?
Mami Sia.
Sia Amla, right?
No, Ma'am Sia Neja.
Sia Neja. All right. So I will let us have the speech that you have to speak today. Just let
Ma'am, shall I start now?
sure better. Come.
Observed each year on 6th August, Hiroshima Day marks the US atomic bomb attack, which killed over 140,000 in Hiroshima during the World War II. The bombings gradually ended World War II by having Japan to surrender, but at a terrible price. The two cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, where the bombing happened a few days later, were destroyed, and the casualties, mostly civilians, were numerous, with many more people dying later from injuries and illnesses. US chose Hiroshima as it was not targeted initially during the US Air Force's conventional bombing raids on Japan, and therefore it was suitable to test the effects of an atomic bomb at a new target. These cities with the atomic bombs, the Little Boy and the Fat Man. So, since the day of the bombing, at 8 am every 6th of August, a ceremony in Hiroshima's Peace Memorial Park commemorates the anniversary of the incident. Survivors, relatives, and other Japanese citizens gather in front of the memorial cenotaph to pay their respects and pray for peace. Hiroshima Day is now a focus for anti war and anti nuclear discussions and demonstrations. It is an opportunity to raise awareness about the threats of nuclear weapons and the dangers of nuclear energy. Peace is the hope of every nation, the promise of every politician, the pulse of every religious tradition, and the goal of every prayer.